Okay, let's see if we can finish up our profile portrait drawing demonstration. We left off, we were talking a little bit about hair, and we said that you need to look at the shapes of the clumps or sections of the hair to make it manageable. Focus on big lines and big shapes first, and then you can go in and fill in little lines in between. More lines if they have darker hair, less lines if they have lighter hair. Just make sure that you sight the distance, cite the thickness of their hair, and compare it to other places on their face for comparison. All right, so before we talk about the body, I want to talk to you a little bit about cheekbones. When you do cheekbones, again, don't use hard lines. If you want to suggest a cheekbone or something, kind of look at the person's face a little bit. Is there a shadow there that suggests it? Some people have really pronounced cheekbones. Some people do not. So, you don't want to go in and make them look like, they've been starving on a desert island for 3 or 4 weeks or something. Sometimes they won't have a really pronounced cheekbone at all. So you have to be kind of careful. Just look at the light source on the person you're drawing, whether you're drawing them from life or whether you're, doing it from a photograph. But just look at that light source, and that'll kind of help if you can actually show more of a cheekbone or not, okay? Or different, areas inside of that face. If you want to go a little darker in here, as this goes in behind the eye, add in some black, a little bit of white, a little bit of color. All right, now, as far as a shirt line goes, when you're drawing, if we just focused on the body only, we don't have a lot of room left for it. So the chest is always going to come outward just a little bit. It depends on how much space you had. Obviously, if it's a guy, his chest won't come out as far as a female will, but it will come outward. All right. As far as this back here, this neck will come down, and eventually it does slope into shoulders, like so. And it can look kind of awkward. You can have a little bit of a shoulder suggestion right here. But if the person's wearing clothes, and I usually like having references, and I just kind of pulled this real quick. He's got on a collar and a tie and a jacket. So I'm probably just going to play around with the whole collar idea. If he's got a collar on, that collar's probably going to come up here. It's going to come around, and it's going to go kind of behind him a little bit. He's got a little bit of a collar. It's going to stick out. It's going to come down. It might come down like so and come back up onto here and create part of a shirt. It might even cover up part of his or her chest, okay? And you can still have a button, depending on the point of view that you've got. You can have something like that with the shirt coming over, and again, just there might be a little line that's coming down from the shoulder to the sleeve, and sometimes the sleeve might make it onto the drawing, sometimes it doesn't. If they had a t-shirt line, you would draw it very similarly as we did when we drew the frontal portrait. It's going to kind of wrap around like a rib, like so. You don't have to draw a t-shirt line on them, but you can. Again, it would wrap around like this, come over. Probably should have led with this. But that t-shirt line, it may gape open and come out like so and have texture on it. But these are some things that you could do with a profile. Again, you can add a little shadow to make the neck look rounder. If they've got an Adam's apple, there's going to be a little bit of shadow here. I guess the last thing we could talk about is what if they're wearing glasses? Well, if they're wearing glasses, I would look at kind of like where the eyeglass or the earpiece is coming in from the ear. And it's going to usually interrupt the eye. All the hard work you did on that eye, it's going to come in and interrupt that eye. And those glasses, they're going to kind of set right here. And they're not going to have the same look to them as they did from the front. And again, do they have plastic, do they have plastic frames? Are they metal frames? Are they going to be shiny silver metallic? Or are they going to be dark? But these glasses, they're not always going to just look just so perfect. Again, they're going to look a little bit like when we were drawing eyes earlier. We talked about how like the iris was like a contact lens. Well, glasses can sometimes kind of look that way too. Sometimes they can have a little bit of a curved kind of look but they might be flatter above, or they could be rounder. They're going to fit inside frames, like so. Ultimately, it's better to look at something than it is to make something up. If I was in class with you, I'd pull someone up that has glasses, and I'd have them turn to the side, and I'd say, okay, where's this piece that joins over here, and where does it go, into the earpiece? But I don't have a picture handy of someone with glasses, so I'm just going to kind of go from memory and experience and just hope for the best. There will be no frame on this side probably because you can't see it. They might have a little pad here that kind of is on the nose. This piece is going to come forward and kind of wrap around. We'll pretend like it's a black plastic frame. And then we can make it, again, look like glass or give a little bit of a glare, or we can even lighten things up behind here to make it look like, the glasses are there. Notice where the glasses sit on the cheek. Do they sit down that low? Do they sit up higher? Pay attention to the shape. Don't think when we think glasses, sometimes the left brain wants to think circles or ovals or squares. Actually look at the shape, because that's what you want to do. You want to draw what you see, not what you think you see. Here's maybe that piece where that hinge is for the earpiece, which joins on. But remember that this piece is going to wrap around. It's going to come out like so. And you might even see a little bit of the glasses popping up on this side too, quite possibly. Okay? So again, this is just us playing around with some possibilities of what could happen with a profile face. Ultimately, you always want to draw what you see, not what you think you see. So I hope that this demonstration has been helpful to you, and I wish you the best of luck as you work on your profile portraits.